Have you ever looked around your home and felt like it's just too cluttered, but you're not sure where to start? As the years go by, it's easy for things to pile up. Old furniture, stacks of papers, sentimental items, and kitchen gadgets we never use. But here's the thing, before you turn 70, decluttering isn't just about tidying up. It's about making life easier, safer, and more enjoyable. In today's video, we're diving into 6 household items you need to let go of. Items that may be weighing you down more than you realize. Stick around until the end because this isn't just about getting rid of stuff. It's about creating a home that truly works for you, where every item adds value and every space brings you peace. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video, you can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Number 1. Worn out and unused furniture. One of the biggest contributors to household clutter is old, worn-out furniture that no longer serves a real purpose in your daily life. Over the years, it's easy to accumulate extra chairs, tables, cabinets, and other pieces. Some inherited from family, some purchased with the best intentions, and some received as gifts or hand-me-downs. At one time, they might have been useful or even sentimental, but as time passes, they can become little more than obstacles, taking up valuable space without adding any real benefit. The truth is, holding on to furniture that is no longer functional, comfortable, or necessary isn't just a physical burden. It can also create stress and frustration. Think about the furniture in your home. Is there a large recliner sitting in the corner, collecting dust because no one ever sits in it? What about the oversized dining table that was once the centerpiece of family gatherings but hasn't been used in years? Or the old dresser with sticky drawers that you struggle to open every time you need something? These items aren't serving you anymore. Instead, they're making your home feel cramped and cluttered. As we get older, having too much furniture can become a real challenge. It can make moving around the house more difficult, increase the risk of tripping or bumping into things, and even make cleaning feel like a daunting task. The more furniture there is, the harder it becomes to maintain a tidy and organized space. Too much clutter can also make a home feel overwhelming rather than relaxing, a place that feels full but not necessarily functional. Take Frank, for example. Frank is 74 years old and has lived in the same house for decades. Over time, he collected furniture piece by piece, some from yard sales, some passed down from relatives, and some that he simply never got around to getting rid of. At one point, his home felt warm and inviting, filled with meaningful items. But over time, he started to notice a shift. Walking through certain rooms became more difficult because of all the extra furniture. Cleaning took longer than it used to. And some spaces felt more like storage areas than places to relax and enjoy. It wasn't until his daughter visited and casually pointed out that he had 5 chairs in his living room, but only 2 were ever used, that he realized something needed to change. So, he made a decision. He started small, focusing on just one room at a time. First, he let go of a wobbly old chair that no one sat in anymore. Then, he removed the large coffee table that took up too much space and made it difficult to walk around. As he cleared out each unnecessary piece, something unexpected happened. He felt a sense of relief. His home started to feel more open, more welcoming, and most importantly, easier to live in. That's the thing about furniture. When it serves a purpose, it enhances your life, making your home more comfortable and functional. But when it becomes excess, it silently drains your energy and makes your space feel cramped and chaotic. You don't need a house packed with furniture to make it feel like home. The less clutter you have, the more you appreciate what remains. If you're holding on to furniture that no longer serves you, ask yourself, when was the last time I used this? Do I truly need it, or is it just taking up space? If you have to think too hard about the answer, chances are it's time to let it go. Because in the end, a home that is easy to move through, simple to clean, and truly enjoyable is far more valuable than an unused chair or table collecting dust. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 2. Clothes you never wear. At some point in life, we all hold on to clothing we no longer use or wear regularly. It could be that suit from years ago that's long since lost its fit, a dress you bought for a special occasion decades ago that now just hangs in the back of your closet, or a pile of old t-shirts that have seen better days but are still tucked away, unused, in your drawers. The truth is, as we get older, it's natural to hold on to items because they hold memories, or we tell ourselves we might need them someday. But before you turn 70, it's important to take a hard, honest look at your wardrobe and ask yourself, do I need all of this? Because here's the thing, having a closet full of clothes you don't wear isn't just occupying valuable space in your home, it's creating unnecessary clutter in your life. Clutter isn't just physical. It can also weigh on your mind and your overall well-being. Clothing tends to hold a lot of emotional baggage. Perhaps it's the jacket you wore to that important event years ago, those jeans you used to love but haven't been able to fit into in ages, or those shoes that, though they looked good, have sat at the bottom of your closet because they hurt your feet every time you try to wear them. Even if you haven't thought about them in a while, those items are still there, silently taking up space and energy. For many people, parting with old clothes feels like letting go of memories. Memories of who they were at a certain time in their life. But here's something to keep in mind. Your closet should reflect who you are today, not who you used to be. Letting go of things that no longer serve you is an act of embracing who you are in the present, making room for the new and for what truly brings you comfort. Take Linda, for example. At 72, Linda had a closet packed to the brim with clothes, but the reality was, she only wore a small fraction of them regularly. She had dresses from the 80s, jackets she hadn't worn in decades, and shoes that looked nice but caused her discomfort every time she put them on. Each morning, she found herself standing in front of her closet, overwhelmed and frustrated by the sheer number of choices, many of which no longer suited her lifestyle or fit her body. One day, Linda decided it was time to make a change. She pulled everything out of her closet and sorted the items into 3 piles. One for the clothes she loved and wore, one for items that no longer fit or were simply uncomfortable, and one for those items she was keeping just in case. The just-in-case pile was the hardest to confront, but as she started letting go of those clothes that hadn't seen the light of day in years, something surprising happened. She didn't feel like she was losing anything. Instead, she felt lighter, as though she was gaining space in both her closet and her life. By the time she finished, she had a closet filled only with pieces she genuinely loved and could easily wear, making her mornings less stressful and her wardrobe far more functional. This is the power of decluttering. When you get rid of the excess, you're not just getting rid of old fabric and outdated trends. You're creating more space for clarity and simplicity. You're not only making it easier to get dressed every morning, but you're also making life a little simpler by eliminating one less thing to worry about. Your days are already busy enough, so why let your closet add to the clutter and confusion? Additionally, consider that your gently used clothes could make a big difference to someone else who needs them. By donating your unused items, you're giving them new life and helping someone else at the same time. So, if your closet is overflowing with clothes you never wear or don't even like anymore, take a moment to ask yourself, do I need this? If an item doesn't fit, isn't comfortable, or you haven't worn it in years, it's time to let it go. At this stage in your life, you deserve a wardrobe that truly works for you. One that brings you comfort, confidence, and ease, rather than one that weighs you down or holds you back from living in the present. Number 3. Expired medications and old toiletries. When people think about clutter in their homes, they often imagine piles of papers, overstuffed closets, or garages filled with forgotten belongings. But one of the most commonly overlooked forms of clutter is something nearly everyone has in their home right now: expired medications and old toiletries. These items, often tucked away in bathroom cabinets, drawers, or linen closets, tend to accumulate over time without us even realizing it. Maybe it's a bottle of aspirin you bought years ago and forgot about, a half-used prescription for an illness you've long recovered from, or a collection of skincare products and cosmetics you once intended to use but never really did. The problem is that this kind of clutter isn't just about wasted space, it can pose health risks. Medications expire for a reason. As time passes, their effectiveness diminishes, meaning they may no longer work as intended. In some cases, they can even degrade into harmful substances that could cause adverse reactions if taken. Some people keep expired medications, just in case, thinking they might need them again in the future. But the reality is that if you ever require that medication, it's best to consult your doctor to ensure you're getting the correct, up-to-date dosage and treatment for your current health needs. Holding onto old prescriptions not only leads to unnecessary clutter but could also lead to accidental misuse, especially if labels have faded or pills have been transferred to different containers. Toiletries are another category of household items that often go unnoticed when decluttering. Many people don't realize that lotions, creams, makeup, sunscreens, and even shampoos have expiration dates. Over time, the active ingredients in these products break down, making them less effective or even irritating to the skin. A bottle of sunscreen from 5 summers ago may no longer offer proper UV protection, and an old jar of face cream might harbor bacteria that could cause breakouts or infections. Even something as simple as mascara or lipstick can become a breeding ground for bacteria if used past its recommended lifespan. Consider Robert, a 75-year-old retiree who has always taken pride in keeping a clean and organized home. One afternoon, while looking for a bandage, he opened his medicine cabinet and realized just how many old medications and toiletries had been sitting there untouched for years. There were expired pain relievers, half-used tubes of antibiotic cream, bottles of cough syrup from long-forgotten colds, and prescription bottles with faded labels for conditions he no longer had. On the shelves sat bottles of sunscreen that had long since expired, a dried-up jar of moisturizer, and a cologne he hadn't worn in over a decade. As he sorted through everything, he was surprised by how much unnecessary clutter he had been holding onto simply because he never thought to check. When he finally cleared out the outdated and unused items, he felt an unexpected sense of relief. His cabinet was no longer overcrowded, and he had peace of mind knowing that everything remaining was safe, useful, and relevant to his current needs. This is what many people don't realize. Decluttering your medications and toiletries isn't just about creating more space. It's about safety, organization, and practicality. It's about ensuring that the products you use daily are fresh, effective, and beneficial to your health. It's about reducing the risk of taking the wrong medication or using a skincare product that might irritate. So, if you haven't checked your medicine cabinet or bathroom shelves in a while, now is the perfect time to do so. Go through your medications carefully. If they're expired, dispose of them properly rather than leaving them to gather dust. Many pharmacies and community programs offer safe medication disposal options, which is much better than flushing them down the drain or tossing them in the trash where they could be misused. When it comes to toiletries, be honest with yourself. If you haven't used it in over a year, chances are you never will. Let go of the half-empty bottles, the outdated cosmetics, and the skincare products that no longer suit your needs. By clearing out old medications and expired toiletries, you're not just decluttering your home, you're creating a safer, healthier, and more organized space. And the best part? You'll never again have to rummage through a crowded cabinet only to find that the product you need has long since expired. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 4. Old papers, documents, and unused mail. One of the most common forms of clutter, yet one of the easiest to ignore, is paper. Over the years, it quietly accumulates, taking over kitchen counters, desks, drawers, and even entire filing cabinets. Important-looking envelopes sit unopened on tables, folders are crammed with outdated paperwork, and storage boxes hold decades-old documents that haven't been touched in years. From old utility bills and expired warranties to instruction manuals for long-gone appliances, the sheer amount of unnecessary paperwork lurking in most homes is overwhelming. It's easy to hold onto these papers, just in case. But before you turn 70, it's time to take control of them. Paper clutter isn't just about taking up space in your home, it also takes up space in your mind. Think about the last time you needed an important document but had to dig through piles of old paperwork to find it. How frustrating was it? Or consider how stressful it feels to see unopened mail accumulating on the kitchen table, making you feel like you're always behind on something. The truth is, most of the papers we keep are no longer necessary, and getting rid of them can bring a tremendous sense of relief and order. Take Barbara, for example. At 73, she had an entire filing cabinet stuffed with papers spanning decades, receipts from purchases she didn't remember, old pay stubs from jobs she left years ago, tax returns dating back to the 1980s, and even expired insurance policies. 4 years, she avoided dealing with it because she thought, I might need this someday. But one afternoon, after struggling for over an hour to find an important medical document, she had enough. She decided to tackle the mess once and for all. With patience and determination, she sorted through every piece of paper, shredding outdated bank statements, recycling long-forgotten warranties, and keeping only the documents that truly mattered. By the time she was finished, she had reduced her paperwork by more than half. More importantly, She felt a sense of control she hadn't experienced in years. She finally knew exactly where everything was when she needed it. That's the key. When you declutter your papers, you're not just clearing physical space. You're also freeing yourself from the mental burden that comes with having too much unnecessary paperwork. You'll no longer feel weighed down by the sight of stacks of mail, folders crammed with outdated documents, or drawers stuffed with things you haven't touched in years. And thanks to modern technology, many essential records can now be stored digitally, eliminating the need to keep physical copies of everything. So, where do you start? Begin by tackling your paperwork with a discerning eye. 1. Sort through everything. Pull out all your old papers. Yes, all of them. This includes mail, documents in drawers, folders in cabinets, and even those boxes you've stashed away. 2. Identify what's essential. Keep only the papers that serve a real purpose. Important legal, financial, and medical documents, property records, insurance policies, and recent tax returns. 3. Shred and recycle. Shred old bank statements, outdated contracts, expired warranties, and any documents that contain sensitive information. Recycle manuals for appliances you no longer own and receipts for purchases that no longer matter. 4. Organize what remains. Invest in a simple filing system so you can quickly locate important documents when needed. Consider using labeled folders or a small filing box to keep things tidy. 5. Go digital where possible. Many bills, statements, and records can be accessed online. Scan and save digital copies of important documents, so you don't need to keep bulky paper versions. 6. Handle mail immediately. Instead of letting mail pile up, deal with it as soon as it arrives. Junk mail? Toss it right away. Bills? Pay them and keep only necessary records. Magazines or newsletters you never read. Cancel the subscriptions. The goal is simple. Only keep the papers that truly serve a purpose and let go of the rest. By decluttering your documents, you'll create a more organized home and, just as importantly, a clearer and more peaceful mind. Number 5. Kitchen items you never use. The kitchen is often one of the most cluttered spaces in any home. Over the years, it's easy to accumulate an assortment of dishes, utensils, and appliances, many of which end up sitting in cabinets, drawers, or on countertops, rarely, if ever, being used. While some of these items may have once served a purpose, others were impulse buys, gifted gadgets, or well-intended purchases that ultimately didn't fit into your daily routine. As you approach 70, clearing out the unnecessary kitchen clutter can bring a surprising sense of relief and make your home more functional. Many of us hold on to kitchen items out of habit. Maybe you have a set of fine china that's been sitting in the cabinet for decades, waiting for that special occasion that never seems to come. Perhaps you bought a juicer with the best of intentions, but only used it twice before it became a dust collector. Or maybe you have 3, 4, or even 5 of the same type of kitchen tool. Spatulas, ladles, mixing bowls, or coffee mugs, when realistically, you only use a couple of them regularly. Over time, these unused or duplicate items pile up, filling every available space and making it harder to find the things you use daily. Take George, for example. Now 76, George has lived in the same house for decades. During that time, his kitchen became home to a vast collection of cookware, utensils, and small appliances. There were multiple blenders, an old food processor, an electric griddle he hadn't touched in years, and enough baking sheets to supply a small bakery. His cabinets were packed with mismatched coffee cups and stacks of plates and bowls that never saw the light of day. His drawers were stuffed with gadgets, some still in their original packaging, many of which he had forgotten he even owned. The clutter didn't seem like a problem until one day, while searching for a frying pan, he accidentally knocked over a pile of baking sheets, causing a loud crash that startled him. Frustrated and tired of struggling to find what he needed, George decided it was time for a change. He committed to going through his kitchen, one drawer and cabinet at a time, and asking a simple but powerful question: do I use this? If the answer was no, it had to go. That meant donating the extra coffee maker, getting rid of duplicate utensils, tossing out expired spices, and saying goodbye to the bread maker he had used only once. When he finished, the transformation was remarkable. His kitchen was no longer a chaotic, cluttered mess. It was organized, functional, and most importantly, easy to navigate. Cooking became less of a hassle, cleaning took less time, and he no longer felt overwhelmed by overstuffed cabinets and crowded countertops. And that's the real benefit of decluttering your kitchen. It makes life simpler. You don't need an excessive number of pots, pans, or appliances to prepare great meals. You just need the essentials. When you remove what you don't use, your kitchen becomes a space that works for you instead of against you. So take a moment to look around your kitchen. Open your cabinets, peek into your drawers, and be honest with yourself. When was the last time you used that waffle maker? Do you need 5 spatulas? Are you holding on to a collection of plastic containers with no matching lids? If something has been sitting unused for years, collecting dust, or taking up valuable space for no good reason, it may be time to let it go. By clearing out the kitchen items you never use, you'll not only create a more organized and efficient space, you'll make your daily life easier and more enjoyable. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 6. Sentimental items that no longer serve you. One of the most challenging aspects of decluttering is parting with sentimental items. These objects, old letters, gifts from loved ones, souvenirs from past vacations, or boxes filled with keepsakes from decades ago, carry deep emotional significance. Because of this, many people struggle to let them go. However, as you approach your later years, it's important to ask yourself whether these sentimental objects are enriching your life or simply taking up space. Many people hold on to sentimental items out of a sense of obligation or guilt. A gift from a dear friend who has passed away, a stack of birthday cards from years gone by, childhood artwork from your children or grandchildren. These items serve as reminders of cherished moments. But over time, these keepsakes can accumulate, turning from treasured memories into overwhelming clutter. The truth is, memories do not reside in objects. They live within you. Keeping an excessive amount of sentimental belongings does not preserve the past. It only makes the present more difficult to manage. Consider Helen's story. At 78, she found herself surrounded by boxes upon boxes of sentimental items. Letters, trinkets, and souvenirs from different phases of her life. She had stored them away, thinking they were too precious to part with. But when she decided to downsize to a smaller home, she faced a harsh realization. She had an entire storage unit filled with things she hadn't looked at in years. Initially, the thought of letting go seemed impossible. What if she forgot the special moments attached to those items? What if decluttering meant erasing a part of her history? The emotions were real, and the hesitation was strong. But then Helen had a change in perspective. Instead of keeping everything, she decided to be intentional. She sorted through her belongings and selected only the most meaningful ones. Her wedding album, a few handwritten letters from loved ones, and a small collection of souvenirs that genuinely brought her joy. For the rest, she found ways to let go without feeling like she was losing a piece of herself. She donated items that could bring happiness to others, took photos of keepsakes she wanted to remember but didn't need to physically keep, and recycled what was no longer useful. As she worked through the process, something surprising happened. She felt lighter, relieved, and more at peace. That's what many people don't realize. Decluttering sentimental items does not mean forgetting your past. It means making room to fully embrace your present. It means holding on to the most special things while releasing the burden of excess. By doing so, you create a home that reflects what truly matters today, rather than one weighed down by items that no longer serve you. If you find yourself holding on to sentimental items that feel more like a burden than a blessing, take a step back and reflect. Ask yourself, do you need to keep every letter, every souvenir, and every trinket to cherish the memories attached to them? Or can you trust that your most precious memories live on within you, regardless of whether you keep the physical objects? At this stage in life, the most valuable things aren't the ones collecting dust in boxes. They are the moments, experiences, and relationships that bring you joy and peace every single day. Let go of what no longer serves you, and make space for what truly matters. So, what stood out to you the most in today's video? Was it the realization that worn-out furniture could be draining your energy, or that holding onto clothes you never wear is taking up valuable space? Maybe it was the idea that letting go of sentimental items doesn't mean forgetting the memories. It's about making room for more joy in the present. We'd love to hear from you. Comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to bring it into practice in your own life. Your insights inspire others and help us continue creating content that serves you. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content that helps you live a healthier, more fulfilling life. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.